So joining me today, as usual, is Ian Shadden, Senior Training Content Creator.
Hi,
We
guys.
will be talking about the procedural mesh slicing tool or
Well,
feature.
it's the procedural mesh component,
Yes,
and we will
it
talk
has a
about slicing
with that. So
with that. So,
yes, so
actually, we're just
welcome.
gonna kind of jump right in.
Yeah, we can
I
just
mean,
hop right into here.
It's actually amazingly not terribly complicated to set up. So I'm just in the editor. This is 4.13, I believe, from the launcher. We haven't released like a 0.1 release yet, have we?
No, I can tell you all that there is a hotfix coming. A 4.13.1 hotfix will come in a couple weeks. They're going to make it a pretty big one with a lot of good fixes.
Yeah. So we're just going to create ourselves a new blueprint here. And what we're going to do is we're going to start out. I'm going to show you the procedural mesh component and some things that we can do with it. We're going to create a raw mesh, okay? And then we're going to be like, okay, that was really hard. So we're going to go copy the mesh from a static mesh, and then we're going to slice it up. And if we have time, what we'll do is we'll actually create like an interface using the mouse to align a plane and all this goodness to actually slice up the mesh.
Yeah.
So I think we have enough time for that because, like I said, this is actually pretty simple.
Yeah, it should be pretty quick for us to just set up the basics of it.
Yep. So I'm going to add a procedural mesh component to my blueprint here, and I'm going to just make it the root and compile just so we have it there. As you can see, nothing's there. Any of the settings here we would need to worry about. I can tell you right now something that's bitten me in the past has been the use complex as simple collision here. This is specifically for procedural mesh. If you attempt to add in your own simple collision or your copied mesh already has simple collision, turn this off. It doesn't copy anything. Well, using complex as simple doesn't allow for simulation and things like that, right? It allows for characters to walk on it, and that's about it, and you can trace against it. But if you want things to fall and be cut up into bits and pieces, you need to make sure that's off. So I'm just going to turn this off right now, and we'll get back to it. Besides that, everything here is basically fine. Most of what we have to do now is all in Blueprint. So I'm going to go ahead, and what we're going to do is we're going to click and drag this out into World. As you can see, there's absolutely nothing here because we have not created a mesh. And actually, we're gonna pull it over there, and we'll be back here to look at our progress because we're gonna go into our construction script here
and give it a mesh.
and we're gonna make a mesh.
Yep.
So procedural mesh component, and we will. I believe it's called. You can just look up proc, and you can see procedural mesh. We have things like add collision, convex mesh, clear all mesh sections, clear convex, clear mesh sections. We actually want create mesh section.
Create mesh section.
Create mesh section.
It's
I'm going to be
tongue-tying
a little slurry there.
Yeah, we were drinking before.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Hitting that whiskey. No. So as you can see, we have a lot of input arrays here. We have our vertices, triangles, normals, our UVs, actually specifically just UV0, vertex colors, and tangents. We need verts and we need triangles. Just to show how this works, I'm just going to use a make array for these two. And we'll have a make array here, just so we can show these guys working. Now, triangles are interesting. We're going to add we're adding verts now.
Yeah.
And what these indices here will be the vert number from this array in which you want to create a triangle out of. So this make array actually has to be a multiple of 3. So automatically we need to have 3. We're going to start by creating a simple plane, so I'm going to add in a total of 6 entries. So 0 through 5. But we're only going to need 4 verts for a plane.
And I'm going to throw this one out here real quick. We're going to be, as he said earlier, doing the difficult stuff kind of first, but then later we'll show you how to just kind of add a simple mesh. But this will be the how to actually draw a mesh.
Yeah,
basically.
like if you wanted to really get crazy, this is a way that you could do it. Now, this is in the construction script. You'd probably have a bunch of for loops, some input data of some sort, like the stuff we used to I did for the instant static mesh components.
Yes.
Where you're like, here's going to be a mesh location that could be a vert location, and then you could build an entire structure based off of that information.
Yeah, it's more likely that you would want to be doing something like that with this. We're just going to show you the basic of if you wanted to just draw a triangle using
2 triangles.
Whoa.
Whoa, yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
So we're just going to do our first vert is going to be at 100, 100. Next one's going to be at negative 100, 100. I bet you guys can see where this is going. Negative 100, negative 100, and then 100, negative 100. Now, unfortunately, it looks like all of our verts are set to 0, so we're going to be building a whole bunch of triangles based off of vert 0. Well, let's just punch some numbers in here. We'll put in a 1 and a 2. So our first triangle will be based off of vert 0, 1, and 2. And then, well, what's our next one? If we want to create a plane, it's probably going to be
1, 2, and 3, or
1, 2, and 3, maybe. I honestly don't know. Let's try it out. Yep. And we'll hit compile, and we'll look at what we got. And
hey, there we go.
There they are, but they're facing down. Kind of wanted them to face up, and it looks like
we got
them.
Yeah, we got them.
They're
intersecting.
Angle.
But yeah, it's not the proper one.
So we'll just kind of maneuver the camera here. And let's see. First of all, we need to figure out. So maybe it's
2, 3, 4?
0, like that. Maybe it's that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Great. We got a plane.
Cool.
I have no, but it's kind of facing the wrong way.
Or you could just go in 3ds Max and make yourself.
Yeah, or I could go into 3ds Max and be done with this.
But this is
I could download Blender, install Blender, build a plane in Blender, figure out how to build a plane. Yeah, faster than probably I'm doing it right here. But it's facing the wrong way. Now, you're over here, some of you might have guessed, hey, we have normals. This doesn't do anything for us. This is specifically the vert normal. So which way it actually bounces the light. Tangents might be something. I haven't actually tried to mess with these. I think we can create hard edges with them, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, at that point, we're like building models.
It gets super complex at this point, and allowing it to auto-calculate is one of its advantages. But if you want to flip this thing, we kind of have to flip the way that we're building them. So I'm going to put a 2, 1 in here, compile. Oh, there it goes. It's now backwards from where it was. And we'll just reverse the order of this one as well. I think that works. And there we go. And now we have our plane facing upright. If James Golding happens to be in chat, and
he can explain the back end.
He can explain the. There's probably a clockwise, counterclockwise thing here, with how you choose your verts, and that decides which way is up or down. But at the same time, it's more like if they're a plane, and we understand that they have a facing normal, right? And based off of if we do it one way versus the other, no matter which way we rotate it, we should hopefully end up with always the same direction that we want.
Yeah.
And we could probably do things like rotate the verts and whatever. But now if we go ahead and let's to show you guys that these are actually like smooth meshes, I'm going to move up one of our verts here on the Z. And when we recompile that, we see we actually we don't. It looks kind of like a hard edge.
But it's technically a soft edge.
But it's really kind of a soft... Well, no, maybe it is a hard edge. That's really hard to tell. Let's not take that one up. Let's take up one of the other ones. Watch this be the opposite. Oh, everything exploded. Okay,
there you go.
Yeah, no, it's actually got kind of a soft edge.
Okay.
It's not as soft as it could be, but we could mess with the normals to actually get them to be super, super soft. And this would be you are building a procedural game.
Yes.
And you want to build your meshes on your own. You're sitting there, you're calculating out your UV locations based off of a texture setup that you've done. You've got your vertex colors down, and you know all your tangents and your normals. That's great. Yeah, that's awesome. I am
very
crazy impressed for anybody.
This is definitely modeling for programmers.
Yeah, who's using this to generate some awesome stuff. I have a couple buddies who do it. That's great. This is not for me.
Yeah, personally, I wouldn't.
I want to cut stuff. I want to cut stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So I think it's time to actually chop some stuff up.
Do this.
But we definitely want to show what the core of the procedural mesh was all about.
Oh, and this is just a single section. We could add a whole other mesh section here, and then we can update the sections so we can move things around. I mean, like we showed, there are a ton of things that you can actually do with the procedural mesh component.
Oh yeah.
But we're gonna get rid of this, and I'm gonna add a static mesh component, and we're gonna add a variable. Let's go ahead and maximize here. Add variable, and this is going to be static mesh. Whoa, okay, it's not gonna, it doesn't like it. Static mesh to copy. There, we're gonna expose that.
And make it not a boolean.
Yeah, we're gonna make it a static mesh. And a static mesh reference. And we'll compile. So first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna grab this guy. And we're going to say, we're going to set static mesh. Pull over there. And, oh, no, pardon. That's not what I want. It's there's a set static new, no, I think, no. See, I got it backwards again. Set static, there we go. So allow us to actually set the static mesh to our static mesh we want to copy. Okay, great. This just gives us a way to exist in the world here, and we can, ooh, where'd it go? This is the problem with not having anything visible on it. Let's go ahead and give it something visible so we can see it a little more easily.
Yeah, probably want something solid to look at.
What's the chair? I've been having a lot of fun slicing with the chair.
Chair.
It's probably called the chair, man.
Yeah, probably.
Probably. Compile. Did I delete it from the world? Where'd it go? Oh, yeah, because we're setting it. Compile. There it is. I'm just going to select it real quick, and we're going to select the chair again. Make it our variable, rehook this back up, it'll compile, rerun, just so we see that it's working. We'll clear this out, like so, recompile, we still have our chair. Okay, great. So we're setting our static mesh component to this mesh. Now that we have a static mesh component, we can go ahead and we can copy that to our procedural mesh. Copy. Copy procedural mesh from static mesh component. And zoom in here a little bit. Pull that down. Here's the static mesh. And we can go ahead and have it create collision, because remember, I disabled use complex as simple, so we should actually get collision out of this.
Yeah.
And you can choose which LOD to copy.
Yep.
Now, here's what's going to be really weird. I'm going to hit compile. And it's going to appear, one, that nothing has happened. And actually, nothing has happened.
There's two chairs kind of stacked up.
No. There's actually only one chair set up.
Copy of it?
Oh, no. See, we're skipping a step. And I'm going to show you I'm going to show you how to find this. So I'm going to take our static mesh here, and we're going to destroy static.
Oh, you have to drag off of it.
And actually, I found that's a weird one. It actually doesn't show on there.
That's interesting.
Like I'm pretty sure if you type in destroy. No, actually there it goes.
Component, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't working for me earlier on my machine.
Sure it wasn't.
I swear to God.
Yeah, on my machine.
And we hit compile. Where'd it go? It's gone. Okay, well that's a little weird. Anybody who's maybe messing around with this knows where we're going. Go to our outlook log. Outlook log.
You can call it whatever you
like.
We're
going to Microsoft here. We're going to go check our emails. Warning, calling get section from static mesh on SM chair, but allow CPU access is not enabled. This is required for converting static mesh to procedural mesh components in cooked builds.
Yep.
So we got an error down there saying, hey, this isn't going to work. You need to go enable something. All right, well, it says CPU. So we'll double click our chair, and it's our static mesh. We'll type in CPU. There it is. Allow CPU access. We hit that. We hit save. Now this is the static mesh editor. I mean, we could go in here and apply different LODs and whatnot. And when we go recompile, we get our chair. So we have our static mesh component, we copy it, we delete it. So all we're left with is our procedural mesh component. And you can actually see over on the side here, there is no static mesh component in here, literally just our root of our procedural mesh. And I believe if we show collision here, we will actually have full collision.
Yep.
And this is exactly what we want. Yep. We have set up this chair to be sliced and diced and generally have a very bad day for itself. So I'm going to expand out our little work area here. No, I'm going to expand out our work. There we go. And we'll just kind of move this forward. Now, like I said, the whole slicing thing is actually kind of easy.
Yeah.
Like everything after this point is really easy. Now, I've chosen a really complicated mesh to show that there are potentially some failure points with slicing.
Yeah, because if you're working with something with a lot of convex shapes and holes,
right,
like this
it'll end up with a lot of holes, and if the holes aren't really close to planar, I don't know, maybe they actually have to be straight planar. You can end up in a situation where it doesn't cap.
Yeah.
It'll cut, it just won't cap.
Yeah, it just looks a little bit strange. It definitely works best with solid objects. As a note, this is still an experimental feature.
Is it?
It's yeah, well, that's what they were telling me. Is it's still technically they didn't put it in there, but they're calling it one, and they're going to do some more in the future. You failed to save something.
Why did the map fail? Whatever. Map failed to save. Okay.
A couple notes out of just some discussion I saw in chat, just to clarify these points. The copy procedural mesh from static mesh component, that's a component going into it, not an actual static mesh reference. So it actually has to have a component that it's copying from versus a static mesh reference. And then the whole reason we go back and around and destroy.
It's just so that we don't have an extra copy of it laying around.
Because when we do the copy, it actually does create a physical mesh. So we're getting rid of that initial static mesh component that we created a reference to, already used, and now it's gone. So that's the explanation of the behind the scenes.
I mean, we could also do a add static mesh component. That way we don't start with one.
Yeah.
And that might be a little cleaner for some of you.
Yeah, that way you don't already have it up there. But yeah, that's a good point too.
You could create it and then copy it and then destroy it. Seems like a bit of a waste of time. For just simply, hey, it's there and this is what we're going to do with it. We know we're going to cut this thing up. So we need to, I believe, procedural mesh component. We're going to allow it to simulate physics.
Yeah.
So I'm turning on.
Then you have to do the physics drop down.
That's not, I need the physics.
There you go, simulate physics.
And we don't need it.
That's the one that you got confused on.
Yep, and it's currently set to block all. Perfect.
That should work.
So I think if we hit play, it's behind us, but it did fall to the ground.
Yep.
Let's we'll grab our start point. Okay, not exactly where I wanted to grab it.
You know, it works.
Whatever.
There you go.
Okay, cool.
So
we're following.
Just works like a regular old mesh right now.
Yep. So let's cut it up. So in our event graph, on event begin play, we are going to cut it up. So we're going to grab a copy of it, and we are going to slice. It's slice procedural mesh. There it is.
That's the whole thing.
This is the magic right here, right? Like,
well, if you do it at begin play, it's just going to instantly happen. So,
right.
Yeah.
But we're gonna show the commands.
Okay.
And then we'll build something more fun with it.
Fantastic.
We'll build it on the fly. So what do we want? Well, we're gonna need a cap, and we're gonna create a. I think we want to use create a new section for the cap, because if you say no cap, it's hollow.
Yep.
If you say use last section, you get one material. If you create a new section, you get a new material. So we want a new one, and then I think there's a brush.
There's metal, I think.
Yeah, I think it's called brushed.
Nickel?
Yeah, brushed
yeah,
nickel.
there you go.
So we'll use brush nickel, and we'll have it automatically create the other half. And so we need to know our plane position and our plane normal. And if we mouse over this, I'm pretty sure it says in world space. So we'll go ahead and just get our actor location. So get actor Location. We'll use that as our start point. And for our plane, we'll just have it slice down X. Well, it'll be Y. We want to cut it. We want to cut it along X, so we'll actually have it point down Y. So we'll just give this a 1 like that, and that should slice us into 2 bits. And if we have play, sure enough, we have cut our chair in 2. It is one of those perfect slices that apparently our chair is made completely out of brushed nickel. This is not going to be fun to sit on. This would probably hurt very quickly. But our other side isn't simulating physics. Well, let's do some checks here. And we're going to type in show collision. Okay, it looks like we have collision. Well, I bet you I know what's up. Only the first bit is actually simulating physics because we get a whole nother procedural mesh component out of this. So we can come back into this one and say, hey, simulate. Set simulate physics. We're going to set that to true. Now, I think the problem we're going to run into here is that they're both kind of together and they're both going to fall at the same rate. It's not going to be very interesting. In fact, you can't even tell that they're sliced. And because of the camera, or because of the pawn that we've chosen here, let's see, actually Shift F1, eject. If we come in here, we're still sliced. It's just we're so perfectly together. Let's, there are a couple ways that we can change this. One of which is just simply rotate a little bit. But this also changes our slice plane, because our slice plane is just simply done in world space. So we end up with our cut collapsing chair. Okay, so that's slicing, and if we end up with, did I close it? No, I just pulled it off screen. If we end up, hopefully we'll get some of these weird planes when we start doing what we're gonna now do as kind of like the meteor portion of our bit here. Because really, guys, this is kind of it. The 2 big check boxes that you need to remember are on your procedural mesh. If you want it to be able to simulate physics, make sure on this component you turn off complex as simple collision. This is not, well, it kind of is the same thing that you'll find in like the static mesh editor, but we're not using that information from the static mesh. And then the other bit is on your static mesh, search for CPU, allow CPU access. Once that's done, you're golden. Like you have a procedural mesh now that is a copy of a static mesh that then you could either experiment with. Like we could go through and we could mess up this thing's verts. Like we could take it all over the place. Or you can slice it, or you can do whatever you want to do to manipulate it. Mess with UVs, have fun. But for slicing, which is the fun part of this, we don't have a VR set up, and I think honestly the bread slicing stuff might be a content example here eventually, or if Lauren's in chat, I see she's actually in our Google Doc, she can confirm or deny that the slicing stuff that Osmond has been posting up for GIFs where it cuts the table.
Oh, yeah.
I think that might actually end up being a content example, or it might be a sample that's available.
Yeah, I think there is a planned content example is what they had told me for using this tool.
So. Yeah, so there'll be that, but if you want to get into it a little early, all right, let's build that. We're going to build a tool that is going to allow us to slice up our chair. And I like mouse control. So I just removed all of the slicing bits. Our chair's no longer going to slice, it's just going to fall to the ground. We're not going to have any way to, well, I guess we could come up with a way to hold it and manipulate it, but for now, we'll just let that go. We're going to need, can't say minimap you, graph linked to private object is in a, oh, yeah, hold on. I know what that is. It's the chair.
It's the one that you already have sitting in the world?
Yep. I mean, it's because it's referencing itself, or it's doing something to itself that is no longer.
That's a known bug.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yep. It doesn't hurt anything. It's a smile.
It just says, "Hey, this may not work." I have an entire project that's built around it.
It's a warning that's basically letting you know that, hey, that might cause like weird looping dependency issues.
Yep.
So
it doesn't.
Nope. We have planned against looping dependency issues that you're warning us about. Thank you.
Yep. We're good. So what are we going to need to do here? Okay, we're going to need a new controller and a new pawn. And hopefully, actually, we'll just re-inherit from the default pawn and we'll need a new game mode. So let's go ahead and create all that. We'll call this proc stream. And we're going to need a new blueprint class of game mode. Proc stream game mode. We're going to need a new default pawn, because I like that it comes with a bunch of stuff. We'll just re-inherit. Proc stream default pawn. And we'll need a new player controller. All right.
Now we have all the parts.
All the little bits. Yes, it's fine. Just continue. It's cool. It's cool, bro. It's cool. Sorry, I just want to make sure that we have all this stuff saved, but it's fine. You know what? We'll do this.
There you go.
Fine. I don't need you, chair. I don't need you right now.
We'll bring it back in a minute.
We'll bring the chair back in.
We do need the chair. That is actually important.
Okay, so we'll go into our game mode here, and we're going to change our default pawn to our proc stream default pawn. And oh, is there something behind us?
Oh no, someone.
Spiders.
No, someone mentioned something behind me. They're messing with me.
Look behind you, Alexander. We'll take our controller to the proc stream controller. The rest of it, I really don't care. Really, we just wanted to set that up. Then we'll go edit our preferences for our project. And maps and modes. We're going to change our game mode to our game mode, proc stream game mode. And we'll make sure that, okay, everything's there. And hopefully there won't be any change in anything, because we haven't done anything, and I wanted a default pawn because it comes with this behavior that we're seeing right here.
Yeah. That's
seriously,
what
you
it
need
is.
to stop that.
That's what it is. They're like, the light behind you is blinking. I'm like, no, it's not when I turn around, and then now it is.
See, now you're just freaking me out, man.
Okay, that's the thing to worry about. Okay, Clint's on it. He'll be on it.
He's looking over my head.
They were telling me to look behind me because the light was.
Something wrong with my hair.
Okay, everyone, I am now aware. Thank you for the heads up. It wasn't blinking before the stream when we were just hanging out here. So.
But now it's blinking. Huh?
Yeah.
There's
it's because you guys were looking, and we were like, oh, we'll be live. So.
Of course, everything that can go wrong will go wrong. All right, so now we need to. I want mouse control. I want a cursor. So, in our player controller, I believe we look up. I think it's in here. Show mouse cursor. Let's just.
Do you want to be able to enable click events so you can do the
yes, we need
slicing?
Enable click events.
See, you almost went past that one.
And actually, mouse over events as well, cool. I believe. I think we need click events, left mouse. That's really all I need, unless it'll click event keys. Let's add in the right mouse too.
These lights are.
What do you?
Sorry, the lights are now just blinking straight up. Sorry, they're very distracting.
Are you setting? Is there a rave going on behind me now?
It's basically.
Okay, let's play. Okay, I have my mouse cursor. If I hold down the right mouse, I can still look around, but I have my mouse cursor. Actually, if I hold down any key, I can look around. So this will be interesting. But let's roll with it. Unless maybe that's the click event keys. This is new.
Oh, that you can add those in. Yeah.
I'd be curious to know. No, okay. Whatever. I know there's a way that we can get in there and we can disable that, but it's really not terribly necessary for the way I have this envisioned in my head. We're going to be clicking and holding on the surface, and we'll use the mouse wheel to rotate the normal of the plane we want to cut across. So now that that's done, okay, we have a mouse. Great. Now we need to do something with it. We're in our player controller. So let's go ahead and give us that cut plane. So we're going to need, what are we going to need? I believe it says cursor, get hit result under cursor by objects. We'll do by objects. This will allow us to quickly set up a bool here for, well, actually we're not going to need a bool. Well, we will. We'll just branch off of this.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not we receive a hit or not, and we'll do a custom channel, because a lot of this has to do with physics. We might as well go in and we'll add ourselves a custom channel for our project here. I believe it's under project, or is it under? No, physics. No, it's going to be under the engine settings, or no, collision. I remember before I got out of here.
Now you got your new channel you can make.
Yep, new object channel. We're going to call this one
Slice.
Proc Mesh. Okay, Slice.
Yeah.
Slice. Default response is going to actually be ignore. That way, wait, no. This is an object type. We want the default interaction to be block. That way we don't have to mess with it once we change our chair. Yes. We will make our array, compile real quick, and we'll have this one. We're going to be looking for slice objects.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Trace complex, sure. Yeah, actually, we do want to trace complex because we're going to break this struct here, and we're going to use our impact point and our impact normal to define two parts of the plane.
Yeah.
The initial rotation of the plane, actually to make sure that we're slicing into it, and then the impact point will be where we actually want the plane to appear. So let's Control S, and let's actually close where... Did I just put that under content? I did. Good job, Ian. We'll open this up again. Procedural mesh, we're going to go change. We're just going to do a custom real quick, and we're going to make this a slice object. Now, since we set everything to default block it, everything is just going to block
Yep,
this.
it's already fine.
So if we were to quickly drag this back into the world, we should hopefully see no change in behavior as soon as we assign it chair.
Because we did not have a default static mesh assigned to that variable.
Nope. Play. Bloop. Okay, works fine. Great. I can get rid of you just so I can save. Great. All right. So now let's slice. We'll have one slice object that we can trace against, and now we'll need to build something, anything to visualize what we're going to do. So, how do we want to do this? Do I give myself a plane? Yes. Do I want that to be a part of the controller? It's a little awkward, but it'll work. Give it a static mesh. And mouse. We don't need mouse. And I believe we have a plane. You know? Oh, yes. By the way, if you guys didn't know this, control mouse wheel.
Oh, yeah. Very helpful.
So useful.
Yes.
So let's look for, do we have a plane? We do. We have a shape of a plane. Sweet. So I'm going to add this, and we're going to default size it up to, how big's the chair? The chair's like, we'll just default this up to 200 by 200. Actually, we'll double its size. Why my numpad's not working? So we'll just do 100 by 100 by 100.
All right.
And I believe we have a translucent material of some sort. If we show engine content.
Show engine content. The way to get a bunch of free stuff you didn't even know was there.
Yep.
Default translucent material?
There are colored ones, if I remember correctly. There we go.
Oh, there you go.
Red.
Yeah.
Sweet. And if we compile, we should go to our viewport. Now we have a real... Oh, my Lord, that is huge.
It's a little big.
That's a little big. Let's take this down to 5 by 5 by 5. That's probably a little small. Fine. 15 by 15 by 15. There we go. That should be bigger. That should be bigger than the thing that we want to slice.
So you gave it some Z scale on that plane?
Hey, you know what? Shut up. All right. All this plane is going to be a visualizer. So actually what we're going to want to do is we're going to hide it. So we'll just say hidden in game for default. And in our event graph, we will show it and hide it right off the bat based off of our true or false hit for our hit result here. So hidden, set, duplicate. If we're good, we'll show. If we're bad, we'll not show. So new hidden, turn on hidden.
Yep.
So that way, and then we'll connect this one up like that.
Yep.
Compile. So we'll have our plane, but it currently will just be showing like on our face. Actually, I guess arguably, what we should do, prevent motion blur weirdness. We should move this down. And we need to set our transform before we show it. So let's do that. Get big. This can not be as big. So we're going to need our impact point.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to want to change the position of this to our impact point. So set world location. We're going to want to set it to our impact point. And we're going to want to set it to our impact normal as well, but we're going to want a few extra bits to deal with that. And we're also going to have to deal with the mouse wheel. So we're going to need event mouse wheel axis. What will that give us? Ooh, cool. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, that's what you.
That's perfect. Instead of having up and down, we'll just use the axis value.
Yep.
And we're going to need a variable to mess around with this. So it's going to be a value in degrees. So we'll need a float. Rotation of plane from mouse wheel. Yeah, that's a really painful thing to read. And it'll be a float. Float. And what we'll do is we will set this to our axis, or no, hold on. We'll set it to modify. So get as well, plus float plus float, our axis value multiplied by a scalar of some sort. Let's 5. Just so you guys are aware, we're kind of seriously doing this live.
Yeah, a little bit of hoping that we get the math right.
Well, the math is always kind of a little weird, but we have a lot of things to work with. So this will give us our scalar to rotate around. What we're going to do is get the normal working. We're going to get the plane attaching to the object and aligning to the correct axis that we want it to cut on, and then we'll worry about modifying the rotation. But I'm just getting this bit in here so we have it available when we need it. So we have that, and now we need to set the normal of our plane. Now if our plane, let's look at the viewport. So forward for our plane should be like that. So that'd be great, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It'll mean that no matter where we hit, if we align our X normal to the opposite or the same as our impact normal, which should slice into the object based off of how we hit it. So let's just do that to start. So we're going to make an X rotation out of impact normal. So make X, make rotator from X.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to rotate. Okay. We're going to
set rotation.
Are you set world rotation? There it is.
Yeah.
I keep on putting an E because I want to set rotate for whatever reason. Instead of rotation. Let's move this down a bit. And we'll put that there. All right. So if we're moused over the mesh, we should get a plane. If we're not, the plane should disappear. And we'll just need this in world. And I should totally go set this default for this.
Yeah, you might want to set that as chair as default.
Yeah, we're gonna do that real quick.
You're gonna save it?
Yeah, I'm going to save it right now. Jerk.
I was going to say, you're going to set the chair. You got to make sure you save it.
Some chair.
Uh-huh.
File, save.
Awesome.
And then we'll drop this into the world. Play. Ooh. What?
It's your plane.
It's my plane. It has collision. Hooray!
Because it probably didn't have ignore plane or overlap.
That's right, because we're blocking it.
It's got blocked.
Let's go change our plane collision. Good job, everyone.
Unexpected little things. We're doing it live.
Why is the chair bouncing in space?
Maybe, maybe it's that.
Maybe your collision is bad.
Yep. Got to go up to the collision.
Collision, presets. With this, it can just be no collision. Compile, save.
Yep.
Play. All right, great. We have a chair. Now it should, and we're not getting anything. Let's bring this over.
I'm gonna run over the debugger.
Yep. Okay, so we're constantly getting false. Nope, we're getting true.
I'm getting true, it's just not drawing it still. For whatever reason.
Or is it? Show collision. Where's our plane?
What?
Where's our plane, man?
I don't know. Maybe...
What'd you do with it?
No, it's something's up with your set hidden.
Yeah.
It's gotta be it.
New hidden is off.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I mean, what is it by default?
Are we just...
It's hidden game.
Okay, well, we'll just... Maybe it's because it's hidden in game.
Well, now we're going to have to change the visibility.
This is weird, right? Because it's the visible thing.
I would change the visibility. But this is me. Yeah, see, you're going to have to add another thing for visibility. But I think that you have to leave it.
Is it visible? Oh, I thought this was visible.
No, you have hidden in game versus visibility setting. Yep. There you go.
Fine. We'll do it this way. No, that makes sense. If anybody else caught that, 5 internet points to you. I can award those, right? They're meaningless. So, new visibility, yes. And no.
All right.
And change to make sure we are not hidden in game. Set visibility off to begin with. Compile. Play. Okay, debugging once again. Just making sure. Okay, yeah, we are hitting that point.
I mean, are we getting an overlap off of that? I mean, it's going through
It's ignore all. The plane should not be giving us anything.
Weird.
Double check.
Static mesh is in fact the plane. The plane is actually plugged into the set visibility.
Location of the actual contact point on the trace shape. Yep.
It should be drawing one way or the other because it's coming through. Unless it's... Oh, it must have hit. Set the world location of the static mesh to somewhere we can't see. And then...
It's a possibility. Let's also... Here's what we need to do.
I say we bypass the set world location.
We're also going to do one other thing just in case.
Ah.
And we're going to set our material to double-sided. That's right. I'm going to edit an engine material.
Oh,
and I'm going to set that to double-sided. Be afraid.
Two-sided right there.
Be very afraid. Apply. Okay. Play again. Click into the world. Okay. That's okay. So it is. And can I hit Shift F1 and pause it? Where's our controller? Controller.
Mm-hmm.
Can I focus on that static mesh?
No, you can focus on the actor.
I need to eject. Hold on.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
So it is where it should be.
Technically, yes. And it is big enough that we should be able to see it. But it is currently not visible. It's currently not visible.
Oh, interesting. The visibility setting isn't changing.
Right, which is really awkward. Okay, what if we let's ditch this for a moment.
Yeah, just let it exist.
And let's just make it visible, and we'll worry about that whole thing.
Yeah,
later.
that was just to make it fancy anyway. Yeah. Functionality-wise, let's see what that looks like.
Still nothing. What? What am I doing wrong? Yeah, we're getting process over here.
Whoa.
Shift F1. Eject. Pause. Proc. Is it like just super tiny or something?
I don't know. I mean,
no, it can't be, because if you hit F.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure if we were to change the scale, that would shrink.
It's not simulating physics, is it?
No. Simulate physics is off.
Yeah.
It's no collision, so we're not getting any events from it. It's visible. We're not resetting visibility.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
What?
Your controller's hidden, I bet.
Oh, the controller itself is invisible?
I think the controller's invisible, and it's propagating
to children. All right, just type in visibility.
Can I turn that off? I don't know if I can. Yeah, I can't, because it's on the controller.
Because it wants to be on a pawn.
Oh, that's lame. I really don't want to. Okay, fine. Fine.
I think we figured it out.
Fine.
So well, you can just copy and paste all that into a pawn.
Nope, I don't have to copy and paste anything. We're just going to move the static mesh, and we're going to re-reference it.
Oh.
So on event begin play, we'll get controlled pawn, and we'll get our plane from it. So fine.
All right.
But that makes sense.
Yeah.
It does make sense. The controller shouldn't.
You wouldn't. You
but
wouldn't.
It's really awkward, because I'm pretty sure while I was messing around with some AI stuff that I had a cube attached to my my controller, and I had it attach the controller to the pawn, so that way, whatever. Not really that big of a deal. We'll just go ahead and move stuff around, and we get to reinforce things like, oh, yeah, that's right, you have a chair. Let's autosave fail again. Goodbye, chair. We need to do some work. But we'll work on our blueprint communication skills. So, our default pawn.
There we go.
We are going to need, which is really interesting because it's a sphere.
I mean, we can...
Wait a minute, can you not, is it not visible? Must not be visible.
No,
it's visible. That's really weird because we don't see it when we eject.
We don't?
Hold on, before we do this.
I was going to say, I thought I saw something.
Proc. Just to make sure.
And you have to eject.
I'm just making sure. Okay, yeah, we are using that default pawn. Just double checking.
Yep.
Make sure that we're not going to edit something that doesn't really get us anything. All right. Static mesh component. Static mesh. Set to plane. Spelled correctly.
Still misspelled. There we go.
And let's turn off editor content so we can see just the plane that we want. And then turn back on editor content so we can see our red translucent material.
Mm-hmm.
Translucent. Oh, nope. Not what I wanted.
Not that one. Does it have the word red in it? Nope. That's a laser pointer.
This is it.
There you go. Simple translucent.
And it's double-sided. I'm gonna just increase the size a little bit. Yes, I did just do that again. Okay, compile, save. We have our static mesh component, and what we will do now is go back into our player controller on event begin play. Actually, I get controlled pawn.
Then we do cast.
Cast to proc stream. I'm gonna make this pure because we're only gonna use it once anyway.
Yep.
Where's pure? Help me out here.
Oh,
it's at the bottom.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Jeez. And then struct. Then we need to get static mesh.
And then set from there.
And we're going to promote to a variable. Pawn SM.
Cool. So that's now the pawn static mesh variable. Well, it needs to get hooked up still.
Yep. Bloop. And bloop. And that should...
Nope. There you go.
That should get us something, I hope. Let's hit play.
Putting the chair in.
Okay, we actually have a plane now.
Yeah, we can see the plane.
All right.
We got that much going for us.
It's gonna slap this chair around.
All right.
So let's go make sure. So let's go turn that off.
It was that it was not in the pawn itself.
Right. I was hoping we could just attach it to the controller and be a little lazy.
Oh,
but I guess not. And no collision, please. Compile. And then that should be good. Now we just need our
chair
back in there. Okay. Play. There we go.
There it is.
All right.
Oh, that's fancy.
So
worth all the setup, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, and this is kind of how some of the other stuff is being done in whatchamacallit, the GIF that's been in the the release notes and whatever.
When you see the
I think that was just a decal though.
Yeah.
So that way it actually projects through nicely.
Yeah.
And this seems to work out pretty well. And no matter where we go, it'll rotate appropriately.
That's what we got.
So we have an X rotation. That's great. Now I want to modify. Actually, let's cut. Let's go ahead and slice.
Yeah, that's what they came here for. Give the people what they came for.
Let's slice, and at that point, I mean, we can actually call it good because, well, I mean, we'll see about going in there and getting the rotation off a mouse wheel done. Just continue. Yes, I know, stupid chair. Go away, chair. We don't like you, chair. We no longer like you. All right. So, got that, and that. Let's go into our player controller. And we're going to need, we don't need those two anymore, but we are going to need our component. Because weirdly, I deleted all that stuff, and it'd be really kind of handy to have right now, because we're going to create a new event. Custom event. Cut me. Oh, slice me.
Slice me.
Yep.
All right.
And we're going to have 2 new inputs. They're going to be vectors. I bet you can't guess what they're going to be. Oh, you're not even going to try? Jeez.
Keep
up with me, man.
Is it normal?
Yeah.
Called it.
Jeez.
Location normal. You know how I know? It's because I set this up in my own project earlier.
Good job.
This is exactly what I called mine.
Good job.
Yep. Except for I didn't try to work out of the player controller.
We're going to slice it.
Nice.
Dice it. Location. And our normal. And then we are going to simulate physics. Simulate. Set simulate true. Cap it. And brushed nickel. Create other half. There we go. So there's a custom event for this. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be some good times. Okay, so we're going to basically just need left mouse, and then we need all of this again.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not going to duplicate it. I'm literally just going to use this.
Yeah.
So we'll get our hit actor. Cast to, what do we call it? Proc something or another? New proc comp BP. There it is.
I would have just called it sliceable chair, but okay.
Whatever. It's not going to just be a chair. And it's for the stream. Then it has that. We can call the custom event of slice me. And actually.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're going to have to pass in the specific component too. Because we create new components every time we do this.
Yep. So we need to pass
new,
that one in.
And this one's going to be proc comp proceed uroll
mesh component reference. All right.
And I'm going to move you on up. And then I'm going to move you on up again. Because organization. I'm sure somebody with OCD.
Look at how clean that is.
I'm sure somebody was just like, "Oh, thank you."
Thank
you so much for
clean
doing
lines.
that. Compile, save that. Okay, we got our proc comp, and we'll do our hit component as well. Into whoa, hello. Oh well, cast to procedural mesh component.
Mm-hmm. And that's the one we need.
Yep. Yeah, I do that one really nice one, then I'm just like, yep, nope, wires everywhere. And then our impact point will be our world location.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure
if it's
this might be off by some amount.
Because we're using the impact normal instead of the regular normal.
It might be off by like 90 degrees.
Oh.
Because we're creating a
some amount entirely left.
It might be entirely left. Well, I think it's going to be off by 90 degrees because our plane, we're creating an X normal or an X rotation from that. But the normal is actually like, you know, we're impacting the surface. So I think we're going to be off by 90. So, which probably means we're never going to cut anything correctly. Oh yeah, I'm going to hit play without dragging one of these things in. Okay. But it'll be really easy to tell. Okay. So we have our slice plane, and I've maneuvered it into a position where we should see a slice one way or another. If we're off by 90 going up, it will cut it in half. If it's on our plane, it'll cut the back off.
Versus if it rolls, we'll split down the middle.
Yeah, it'll split down the middle. So if we click, I crash the editor. No, nothing happened. What happened?
That was definitely that fear of like, well, it'll stop moving for a second, but no, there we are. Oh. Whoa. Did you try to slice the, what?
That doesn't make any sense.
I think you tried to slice the sky. Well, you took a chunk out of it right there, you see.
Yeah, it looks like...
It looks like you didn't do it the right way.
Let's see if we actually sliced. Something happened.
Grab a piece of it and move it, I guess.
Something... I think I shaved it?
It looks like you gave it a little nick and like took part of the
We successfully cut it.
Oh, okay. It's just kind of like sitting on itself now.
Yeah, it...
Okay.
We didn't... But that actually, I don't know if we successfully cut it because our collision didn't cut. Oh no, there it is. There's the cut.
Oh yeah.
No, or is it? Yeah, no, that's a cut.
I saw a bit of mesh in there. I mean, at the very least, you took a triangle out of it.
Why?
Well, you did something.
Why is this not?
Well, only one way to find out.
Yep. Let's bring this over here. So we. Okay, so I'm slicing into the world. Nothing's happening. I'm mousing over our thing now. And nothing's happening. It hasn't changed as actor.
Maybe give it a small force to make it pop.
Yeah, I mean, that's something we need to do, but what's more concerning to me right now is our plane stopped working.
Go to wireframe mode.
What is wireframe?
Oh, I guess you can't go wireframe.
No, you can. It's just it's like
is it like F3 or something?
It's something weird like Shift F3.
No, I think it's just like F3 or something.
No.
No? Okay. Well, that's like in
like Control. I don't want to hit Alt F4, but you know that's what's coming. Well, okay, we can do this. Eject. We can do it like this. Wireframe.
There you
go. Oh yeah, you can see that it cut.
Yeah,
we totally successfully cut.
There's like a weird botched point there.
Yeah, we can. In fact, if we go in, or let's pause, eject, lit.
Yeah, you can probably grab a chunk.
No,
of
we can just go in, and you can see there's your brush nickeled.
Yeah, there he is. There's where the cut happened.
We know we cut. That's not the problem. We cut, but what happened is of course that these things are just sitting nicely on the ground. It doesn't need to eject each other. We need to apply a force.
Yep.
What I'm concerned with is
why the plane didn't.
Why the plane is now like, you know what? I'm gonna go over here.
It's on vacation. It did its job.
I am now massive and huge and.
I don't know how it's scaled over there. Yeah.
Right. But but when we bring it back over here, you see that we're looking for get hit result under object type of slice. Wait a minute. Brain. Eject, select, pause, select that. It failed the slice. Let's stop and replay. Okay, I'm gonna. It looks like it's slicing down, so let's do one of these. Okay, that successfully cut, but we screwed up the plane again. The plane. Oh, the reason the plane looks like it's in the distance is because it's
just attached to you.
It looks like it's attached to it's attached to the pawn.
Okay, that's all that is.
Okay, so we successfully cut that time.
Yeah, it just needs like a pop to push it apart.
And now let's. Where is it? There it is. This is really awkward. Oh no. Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. Now let's look at collision presets. Oh.
World static.
One of them is still set to slice. The other one is set to world static. But I think it's returning the new component. So we screw up being able to select it over again. Easy enough to fix. Go back into here, and we will set collision or set object type to that of slice. Hopefully that works. Otherwise it's going to get real weird really quick. Anything interesting in chat, like how to fix things?
No, they're mostly yelling at us that that what we were looking for was F1 and for wireframe mode, and then Alt 2 is wireform also. Yeah, that's it. They know hotkeys better than we do.
Hotkeys?
Yep.
All right, so we'll reslice, and once again, our plane is now attached to our face.
All right.
Again, we successfully, in quotes, sliced, but it is no longer, pardon, let's bring this back over. New, don't want the construction script event graph. We are stopping here. Object type slice, trace complex. Like, why wouldn't that work? There's no movement after that point. Okay, fine. Fine. You know what? We'll just bypass all that. I'm going to bypass that branch.
Slice whenever.
Well, yeah. Except we're going to fail on the left click.
Okay.
So
that solves that much.
That'll solve that problem. So we'll always be able just to mouse over this thing. And we'll be able to slice badly. And then have our plane disappear. What? This is not that complicated.
It's magical how it
was. This is literally not that complicated.
When you sat down, you showed me on your computer, like, look, it's all here. It's only this and this. And
yeah, and it's super.
How did that?
Like, why would this go to the moon? We're only getting object types of type slice. Does it change the original component? No, it doesn't. We looked at that. If we go play, and we slice, and we look at this, and we look at our collision settings here, we're still of object type slice. And this one is now of type slice.
All right.
Does it say collision enabled? Collision enabled, query in physics, collision enabled, query in physics.
Mm-hmm.
It's blocking everything. It's simulating physics.
The slices have physics. Yeah.
There is literally no reason for this to fail tracing.
Check the trace array. Let's see where we're sending this thing.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. We're gonna have to mouse over. Have to figure out what we're mousing over. So let's.
Where did the object go?
Time to do a bunch of prints. Do it live. So we'll just. Actually, yeah, no, that works. Just do a print.
Mm-hmm. So the old-fashioned way of doing a debugging is a series of prints.
Well, and we'll see one. Let's see if we're hitting our actor.
All right.
And play.
Uh-huh.
We're totally hitting the actor.
So we're hitting the actor. All right, cut it.
So we're not hitting any other object type, right?
Nope, nope. It's only that slice one.
So we hit our object. Oh.
Oh.
Fine.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm just gonna fix this.
You're gonna do this the old-fashioned way.
No, I'm just gonna do it the more lame way. The more by channel.
Actual line tracing instead of getting hit objects.
We'll just do cursor by channel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's kind of lame, but whatever. Now we'll get everything.
And you have it set a slice on there? Oh, that's the trace channel.
No, it's trace channel.
Yeah,
we're no longer doing object.
Channel. Okay, so trace.
We're just doing trace.
All right.
And now what should happen is we'll get everything. It's the floor. It's a chair. It's a table. It's our slice thing. We sliced it. Okay. Now this doesn't work anymore because it no longer apparently exists.
Huh, interesting. Yeah, no longer picks up the collision on that even though it's there.
I wonder if this has to do with like physics doing weird stuff. Is Ori in the freaking stream?
No. James was earlier. Dang. But
because that should
just do a couple of slices through it, like without the
no, it doesn't.
No, I mean like don't worry about the plane at all anymore, because.
Well, if I just do manual slices, it slices.
Yeah.
Right. Like we know that it works. Why wouldn't I be able to? This is the thing. Why is the trace failing? Like, it's visible, isn't it? Okay. Well, fine. We'll no longer trace complex. Maybe
that was part of it because maybe it doesn't like that after you.
Okay. So bloop.
Oh.
Bloop. Yeah. It's not.
It was the complex tracing.
Or else we're just simply not successfully. Yeah.
No, I think it's the complex tracing because now it's hitting it from whatever we're hitting on.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I don't know if we're actually cutting it because.
Yeah, we need to add like a little pop or something.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and do that.
This would be an interesting thing to talk to James about. I think that's why, in their example, they do it off of an orientation and a plane thing that is much larger. So we need our impact point, and they really didn't need it. All right. We'll take this over. Delete that. And we will add a force upon cut.
Yep. There we go.
No. We'll do it under slice me.
So yes, to the people in chat who are saying that they feel relieved seeing debugging live, yes.
Oh really?
Yeah. Like, well, the thing is, at Epic, it's like we try to implement something, and honestly, there's a lot of debugging and working through something. And,
right, and
like, in any game ever, don't ever feel discouraged because you have to do debugging. Even we had actually really planned this one out, and we still ended up hitting that tonight because of that checkbox. You know, you never know what to expect.
You never know, and you would figure that we're getting complex collision for this, but I guess. I mean, Ori would be the one to talk to about this, but there's probably something with the physics scene where it's like, I really don't want to add some new complex collision to the scene.
So it just simplifies all the collision.
So it's just like, I'm just not going to use it.
Yeah, that might have been it. It might have just dumped that data, and then yeah. So yeah.
No big deal.
Don't worry, it happens to everybody.
Force. We are going to add radial force, and we're just gonna. No, I don't want the component. I just want to add a force.
Yeah.
Apply force? I think it's apply. Yeah, there we go. Apply. No, that's damage. Oh, I want force. Add force at location. Isn't there... This adds force to all bodies in this component. Okay, yeah, that is the one I want. And I think I don't have to... If I don't target it, it just works.
Oh, add impulse.
Oh yeah, no, we need to get a lot of things in here. Add location will be roughly where the mouse is. Radius.
No, I mean add impulse, not add a radial force.
Oh no, I'm doing a radial so that way it bursts out from the point of where you click. I don't want to have to calculate a separation force.
All right.
Right. Fall off linear. We're doing acceleration change. That way we can use ridiculously small numbers. 5,000. Oop, nope, didn't like that. Hold on. It wants components.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, just add impulse there, because then that just creates.
No, I have to create a component for it.
Oh.
Well, I can do that.
Yeah.
Fine. Radial force component.
No, I mean, just like right click, add impulse.
Yeah, and if I do that.
Isn't there just like a...
No, you have to add it to a specific component.
Yeah, you can just add it to your procedural
mesh. But this works a little bit better regardless.
Okay, I was just thinking you add that to procedural mesh.
Move. Pardon. Location. Set world location to wherever our mouse happens to be. We'll feed in. It's really twitchy. Teleport, please. And then our radial force should have no consistent force. Nope. But we'll have an impulse change. We'll just say 1,000.
Okay.
And then whenever this happens, I believe it's called fire? Fire impulse.
Fire impulse.
There we go. Compile. Save that. Hit play. And things are probably going to go to the moon, and I also have to find a place where I can actually cut it, given the weirdness
that you've done.
All right, we need to correct for our X rotation here. So I can't cut it because our impact points are in really awkward locations. I'm pretty sure I'm not cutting this right now. If we pause and we select that thing. No. We've potentially cut it,
Are they,
but I'm not seeing anything highlight.
Are they all simulating physics? Yes, they're all simulating physics.
But you can see our collision hasn't changed. So I think I'm creating new mesh components without actually slicing anything. So there's a bunch of empty collisionless components. So we need to correct for our rotation here. So let's not make an X rotation. Let's can I just how do I want to do this? Make rot from X. Can I back this into X vector? This is gonna be That's stupid, isn't it?
Why don't you... Wait, get rotation of X vector. Why? Oh, couldn't you just do the impact normal and get X?
Hold on. Can't we just... Wait, if we're impacting... We need to rotate one direction every time, or one... So can't we just add rotation? Combine rotators? And do 90 on Y? Make another X vector? Pardon. X vector. No. Yeah, no, X vector. Because I want to... Basically, I'm adding 90 degrees. So we hit it, but our impact normal is like this.
Yep.
And I think it's pointing up because our plane drops like this.
Yep.
All right. I think if we just rotate it 90 degrees on Y, no matter which way we face, we should get something. This is probably wrong. They're probably really wrong. I'm guessing. But if it works, then... see, it maybe didn't work. Click. Oh, something happened.
Hey, yeah, that one actually...
Hey, but that looked like it actually happened in the right basic location.
Yeah, it actually dropped. Yeah, hey. It...
Ah!
Oh.
All right. I made
so yeah, you
slice
had to,
sashimi out of this thing.
You had to combine the rotators. That's it. And
right.
then
looks like our collision's really bad down here.
Yeah, you really destroyed the collision on that. That's
well, you
can even subdivide that kind of bigger chunk a little bit there if you really hit it right. Ugh. Okay, well that gives us a little something.
Oh Lord.
All right, well that was what it seems to have been that was really throwing us off. We had rotated the normal funny when we were doing these cuts.
It's just the impact.
Sorry, the impact.
The impact point is the normal is it's not. It's perpendicular. Yeah, it's perpendicular to the surface.
Just gonna shake my head for a second here. This is it. This is.
Did somebody already say it?
Typical us. Actually, no.
It doesn't
you know
like
what? For once,
it doesn't work in all directions, though. It looks like.
Yes.
Oh, whatever.
We'll have to kind of fix up your rotationals, but
whatever. Yeah, that's for right now. This is okay. It works approximately the way that I want it to. It works on one axis.
Well, yeah.
So
we
anyway,
definitely mess around with the other ones.
Yeah,
it probably just needs a combined rotator on the other one anyway.
Yeah, we should probably actually do the real vector math.
Yeah, there's actually a little bit of vector math to do.
We know that what we want. I mean, the rotator works for the world, but what we want for this is to basically rotate it 90 degrees. Or actually, do we want to rotate it 90 degrees? We want to make sure that we rotate it the right 90 degrees. And our impact normal can be in any direction. Oh, Lord, I have no idea.
Oh, wait. Oh, this is interesting.
Is somebody give us the answer?
Yeah, Olento says if your plane is like the floor plane, you can just get the surface normal out of it just by getting the meshes up vector. So that's kind of an interesting, like...
Ooh,
yeah.
aren't you?
Yeah, this is why I watch chat, is because you guys always give us interesting ideas.
You guys know what's up. So I could, what is up vector? Oh, there it is.
Yep.
Up vector.
Get up vector.
Let's plug that in. Let's cheat. Let's cheat so bad.
Well, it's not cheating if it works. I mean...
Damn right. Bloop.
Well, let's see.
It cut. You can see it.
Oh.
Okay, that's a forward cut.
That's a forward cut.
From behind. Oh.
Can you cut it down the center? You got to try to cut it from the other direction. Right now, it's only getting you.
Yeah. No. See, the way that the impact normal works is the way that it's showing. Oh. So I need to. We need to hook up the mouse.
Oh, that's what the rotator there.
That's what the rotator.
Correct. Yes.
Because it looks like we are, in fact, successfully cutting. We're just not applying enough force.
Yeah, that's what's causing it to jostle but not actually go anywhere.
So let's let's get crazy.
Yeah, you're gonna give it a couple more zeros?
We'll give it 2 more.
Oh boy.
This is probably gonna send it to the moon. But whatever. Or it's not gonna do anything. Well, it's a little more effective.
It's like it's kind of trying to go places that it gets caught on itself.
I did tell it to do an acceleration change, didn't I?
I think so. Impulse velocity change.
It's not doing. Fine.
Oh boy, he's getting angry and adding more zeros.
I need to know if it works.
Nope.
No.
That is
the
not
impulse
doing
is
it.
not firing.
Too much friction.
Too much. Actually, that might be a thing.
Did you turn off the magnets?
Wait, there are magnets? Who didn't tell me about the magnets?
Okay, well that's not it. Please, you're just hurting it at this point. This is just mesh abuse.
If you guys can't hear the clicking that I'm doing right now.
This is the most. Yeah. Okay.
I'm waiting for physics to explode. That is really cool, though.
Yeah, it's interesting that you kind of mess with the physics like that.
Okay. That is our impulse. If true, ignore mass. Yes. That's exactly what I want. Oh.
Ha, slice. Oh, we forgot about the object channel.
Derp. Okay, let's take this number back down to 1,000. Because it is a velocity change. This is probably going to be too much.
Ha 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 ha.
Get you, chair. Nobody likes you. Be on. Okay,
right.
let's...
I'm time-stamping this in the after video. It's like, this is the part where we made it actually work. Okay.
Hit play again. There we go. Now we can push it over a little bit as we cut it.
It seems to like want to stay on itself. I'm sure if we looked at, and this is the thing too, is like when you have all these open shapes and we have the collision in there, like it's a big solid chunk. So that's why you're seeing a bunch of like floating stuff, because the actual collision is that.
Yeah, you can.
Because at the end of the day, you're really just kind of cutting up the collision, and then it subdivides the mesh based on that.
Yeah. So it's. Let's get our rotate thing in there, because with that suggestion of getting the up vector from the plane, well, fine, we'll just rotate the plane along its x, and that'll give us the what we need. In fact, actually, I think I don't think we need to even do all this craziness anymore. I think we just need a multiplier here, and we'll get our plane, and then we'll add rotation. Add world rotation. Add world rotation would be fine. It's not going to matter either way.
For loop random rotator times 360. You guys, these are great suggestions.
We created a blender.
I like the one where it's someone else has suggested on here that we do it on tick. That rotates on tick. So it's frame dependent spinning.
Oof.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay, so if I do I want to rotate it around the x-axis? I think I want to rotate it around the x-axis.
Yeah, we'll try each one and then figure it out. Wait. Oh, yeah. Okay, I see what you're going at now.
Yeah, or rotators, woo! Right, there are good times. And times 5, sure, let's...
Hopefully that means it translates to roughly 5 degrees. Nope.
Okay, hold on. Debug. And we're going to watch this value. Well, it's moving.
Oh,
but, well, pardon that. The value is changing.
Yeah, but it changes based off of your rotating, not the, like, place that it is in the rotation. So it needs to be an add. Scroll over to the left.
Well, add rotation times 5, make vector. Oh, this thing is dumb. Not what I wanted.
Oh, rotate from vector angle. That should be make rot.
Yeah, I just need to make rot. I just need to make a rot. There.
Uh-huh.
There we go.
That's what it is.
I was like wondering why I needed an extra vector in there. Compile.
What's the vector, Victor?
Play.
Oh no.
Is it moving very little and I just can't see it?
I don't know. I don't think that's the case.
That's not useful.
All right. Oh, because it's make rotator instead of, you need to add it down there.
Yeah, I need to get...
What? Yeah, get the rotation and then add...
Do I get my rotation?
Yeah, you get rotation, I need to add it. And then you need to add together that rotation to your gotten rotation.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Combine.
Yep. Yep.
I really don't want to do this, but okay.
No, it works.
Combine rotators can be hinky.
Well, yeah, with gimbal lock and other kinds of weird stuff, but you know. Oh.
That's why I don't like combine rotators. I don't know what it's doing.
Well, then just add the X vector to a float.
We're just going to
break that into.
Yep. Break. Because it should just be on X.
Mm-hmm.
No matter which way we point this thing, because it'll always orient it in that fashion. Plus. And we'll make this a little bit bigger so we can actually maybe see something happening. What the...
Okay.
This should not be this hard.
Well, yeah, can I take a look? Because I feel like...
Right?
Oh, but look, it's making it constantly like go back to 0.
Why is it constantly going back to 0?
Because we're watching the input there, not the out. No, that's the output. So
and also, what's really interesting is it shouldn't matter. This is add.
Yeah.
I should just be able to feed in a consistent number to this thing.
Huh. Very.
In fact, I should just be able to do like, hey,
I mean, I can just get
5. Right? And this thing should be rotating.
On tick?
On tick.
Well, you're not on tick, though.
It doesn't matter. We're on something that ticks on tick, or we're on something that fires on tick.
Oh, interesting.
So this thing should be rotating.
Right, and we've got
why you know rotate?
Rotation to the scene component. So
We're not.
Do we have the right target?
I'm stupid. Stupid.
Oh,
stupid.
We're setting world rotation already.
So stupid.
This is our own. This is our own fault. Yep, we have 2 rotators fighting against each other.
Well, no, we have one that wins.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so get rid of the end rotator there. Or we have...
Or we do...
Because we're getting the X rotation from there, so we need the Y rotation on the other one, isn't it?
I think we just need to basically add... That's why...
So that needs to
Can I just Control-Z back a whole bunch?
Oh, goodness.
That'd be awesome if I can get back my addition stuff.
Blueprints maintains a very long history of
Come on. There it is. Great.
Combine.
Nope.
Oh, break.
I'm going to break this, and we are going to...
Yeah, that's it. Rotation.
We're going to add it because those things were added together down there. Get plus... This is terrible. Who likes spaghetti? This should do something. This should do something.
Famous last words.
No, I don't know if it actually works, but yeah.
I mean, it's based off of the normal of the... Yeah, of the plane, then it should... I think we may have...
Where'd you go, Chair? I think the force might have exploded.
Yeah, let's check that force amount. Because I think it's suddenly a little much for what we're doing here.
Yeah, I'm just lowering... Oh, because we...
Oh, because you did all the...
Because we undid a whole bunch,
So he did
guys?
all the Control-Zs.
I did a whole bunch of Control-Z, so we're still set to like 10 billion over here on our... That thing ceased to exist. So goodbye. I go to my people now.
Well, we immediately found out what it was. Pow. There we go. That's looking fancy.
Bloop. Let's see if we can break it.
But yeah, you can see how the collision is set up, and this is what we were talking about when we were talking about earlier. Yeah.
Yep,
and then there it is. There it is.
Yeah,
so it's experimental, and there are those limitations like that. On a solid object like a sphere or a block of some sort, it always comes out looking pretty good. But when
you've cut it like 1 billion times.
Yeah, you have to cut it a lot, and then yeah, there's just a couple limitations to worry about there. And then we kind of overcomplicated this a little bit to show you the plane that we were wanting to show off as well. But at the same time,
actually, the plane became who was that?
Olento. That was a great idea. That really saved it, because we just wanted to show it for visualization purposes. Otherwise, you can just use like a line trace and then get where the line trace hit, and
Yeah, but then you wouldn't have this awesome vector to figure out.
But yeah, now you can see this really great chopping.
Cut it again.
There you go. So yeah, just a warning on that.
Bloop. Bloop.
Now you're just having so much fun with it now that it's all up and.
Now that it works, guys, come on. Now that it works, if any of you were following along, I know you're doing the same thing right now. I bet one of you actually has the table already done.
Oh no, Victor Burgos has been in chat the whole time. He's already had it done for days.
For days, he's whatever.
He had a VR version of it up and
running. You guys are so far behind.
Yeah, he was already making fun of us, and then most of these guys already probably got it in their first try. You guys get to learn from all of our silly mistakes.
Antics.
And all that. But we did learn quite a lot today, didn't we, folks?
Is this suddenly Sesame Street or?
Yep, there we go. Wow, it's actually getting pretty interesting. So yeah, for the Epic Mega Jam, which is coming up next month, I'm probably going to see quite a few of these, I hope, and some more of those wacky physics animations and this plus physics animations. Actually, so combine this with our last training stream about physics animations, so wherever a hand hits something and it just like starts...
It just shatters it.
Instead of using
severs some chunk of it off.
Slice things in half with it. Like give him like, it's like Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah, he's got like laser plane hands.
Yes.
He just starts like...
Oh no, I have lightsabers for hands. This is the worst.
How will I eat?
But okay, so
I'm like Midas, but worse.
So yeah, let's so one last time, we also have some Q&A, but
yeah, let's look at Q&A here.
One of the requests that we got, so Q&A segment. One of the requests that we got was to just open up the this component here that we have and just zoom out so we can kind of get an idea of what the other one actually the more complex one. Zoom out, show exactly what all we have here so that it's maybe a little less daunting. We can show that off.
Okay, we have
part one, the first thing that happens.
We're grabbing our plane on event begin play. We're getting our controlled pawn. We're casting it to whatever our pawn happens to be, which is our proc stream default pawn. We're getting the static mesh, which is our plane out of it, and we're setting a variable to that static mesh. On tick, we are asking, hey, what's underneath the cursor? So we have mouse control, so we're asking, hey, what's under the cursor? On visibility. Ooh, okay, no big deal. We're no longer tracing complex on that. We get our hit results out of that, which we break and we do a couple of things with. One of the things is we set our plane location
and
rotation based off of the impact location and the impact normal. We're also setting a variable based off of how far we roll the mouse wheel on whatever its axis. It's just sitting here ticking away. We're plus and minusing 5 from the plane every time we roll the wheel, which gives us our rotation that we're simply adding into the roll.
And that's that little variable up top there. And then that gets added. And then the final thing in this one
is we, on our left mouse click, we get our hit actor, and then we get our hit component. We make sure that 1, it's our actor type that we want, 2, that it is a procedural mesh component, and then we call slice me on that actor. Slice me is calling slice procedural mesh with our proc mesh, plane position, and plane normal all passed in from the player controller. We're setting simulate physics on our new procedural mesh, and we're setting its collision type to slice.
Yep.
Because it's actually set to static, I believe.
And
then we're applying a radial force to make sure things that pop away from each other so that we get a little more, so that things aren't just sticking on each other with the really high friction that they default to. And that's it for that. But on construction, of course, we are taking our static mesh, we are applying the static mesh that we have a variable for to it. We are then copying it. We are copying from the static mesh component to our procedural mesh component. We're having it go ahead and create collision. And then we are destroying our static mesh component so we don't have multiple meshes.
Yep. All right. So
that's the short of it.
Yes. So that's like if we had gotten it perfect the first time.
Yeah. It would have been like,
how quickly it would have been done.
5 minutes. We're done, guys.
Yep. Not
go
even.
home.
Whew, done. All right. Let's see here. So we have quite a few other Q&A. So first, got some questions from the forums. Will this procedural mesh slice tool support BSP?
Nope.
Nope. This is for procedural meshes. Binary space partitions are different, this is not for them. They don't cut at runtime. 2 is procedural slice tool only for runtime / gameplay experience, or can it be used level editing or perhaps edit in VR mode?
Well, that would be more from Mike Fricker, but I'm going to say probably not usable in edit VR mode because that's a hybrid weirdness. But I think you can slice in the construction script.
Yeah, yeah.
It just doesn't physically simulate. So
yeah, it's not going to simulate the actual cutting. But what to note about this was at the very beginning of the stream we did show that this this same procedural mesh component, which has the slice function, that component does have the ability to spawn, triangles at runtime and therefore generate,
during editor time.
Or during editor time. I mean, and then
so you could slice and then you get 2 procedural mesh components and you could pull them apart.
Oh, that's interesting.
Right.
Yeah. So. Okay. So let's see here. Is this procedural slice tool part of or related to Geometry 2.0 tools?
Nope.
Nope. It is not. Let's see here. Will you support more volume slicing, i.e., carving up?
This is BSP again.
Carving
nope.
more with stuff. Nope. That's
this is solely for static mesh.
Yeah, we got quite a few questions about how is this related to BSP.
It is absolutely, positively not related to BSP.
It's standalone on its own. Yep.
I think you answered this. Is procedural mesh slicing experimental on 4.13?
Yes.
Yep.
And this is 4.13 that we're in right now that we're doing this stuff in. Not 4.13.1, as we mentioned before. 4.13.1 is coming, but it is not quite out yet. There you go. That's the editor we're on. Yep. It's not quite out yet, but it'll be coming soon. Will runtime mesh component become the procedural mesh component, or vice versa, or will these remain separate? I
can't answer that question.
Yeah, we can't answer that one. We'd have to have one of the programmers come on to talk about that one. Is there support for asynchronous procedural mesh slicing? I don't know.
I don't want to speak to it, but I don't believe that there. We'd have to dig into the code, but I'm pretty sure that the method that we're using, the nodes that we're using, is not async. There's nothing in there that pauses if it's gone too long. Again, if Golding was available in chat, you'd be able to probably answer that one. I'm gonna say tentative no.
Just to play it safe there.
Maybe, it'd be really cool though, but at the same time, this is happening really quick.
Let's see here.
I mean, you would have to have a really, really high vert density, like crazy high,
to need this
along a single slice plane, to really start hampering the system.
Like even more so than if we took one of the high polys off of like Paragon or something and sliced
I think even those would slice just fine.
Yeah. Okay. So probably not necessary then, I guess.
I mean, you can imagine a situation, of course. Anyway. Can you please verify
that's
if you lose
an answer
in
hub question.
Project.
That
happened to me with Spund.
This sounds like a bug report. So yeah, it's under bug report. So the support team will help you out with the bug report, and we'll be able to get back to you on that.
Yeah, I no idea. Can't repro because we're not using a cooked build here.
But yeah. So next, can you copy a procedural mesh from a skeletal mesh component so we can finally freeze ragdolls into giant piles?
No, but I think I covered how to do that in one of my previous streams. We created a freeze tag thing in one of the AI streams where they physically lock into place, and we turn off. You end up with, they're not ragdolls anymore. They're frozen collision shapes that are parented to each other. Oh, so they become a single collision object, and then they just kind of topple over in place. It is in one of the other. It's in one of the. I think the. It wasn't in the minion one. It was before the minion one. It was one of the last ones that we did in the previous AI section. we covered how a methodology for you to use that. But no, this cannot copy skeletal mesh components.
Okie doke.
Can you? No BSP.
What,
the next one. Can you copy from BSP also?
No.
Nope.
No. This is a static mesh component directly.
It is,
copies
yeah.
From.
And actually, the question is this only copy from mesh available? It is literally copy from static mesh component.
That's why I wanted to point that out earlier when we were looking at the node and it shows static mesh component. Because what I did is I was like, oh well, I'll be smart and I'll just make a static mesh reference and then just choose something out of my content browser. Why is the color turning dark and it's not clicking? And then I looked and it expects the full component data because that carries more information that it actually needs than just the static mesh alone.
Also, it'd be really awesome if Golding is still in chat.
I think he went to lunch.
Because the tooltip for copy procedural mesh component from copies procedural mesh from static mesh component is copy materials from static mesh component to procedural mesh component.
It is okay. Okay, we could get him for that. But technically, since it's experimental, the tooltips aren't all finished. So that's how they get us every time I bring it up. They're like, well, technically it's experimental, so I didn't finish it yet.
Okay.
You win.
You win, good sir.
Let's see here. How will UE4 handle the new UVs? We'll be able to supply some generic resolving method or approximation method for the new UVs, or an attempt to map the new
in a slice
new UVs to a subset of a texture.
In a slice, it's literally planar, and that's it. You don't get application to a new area. You don't get if you apply the same material to it, it's going to be I don't want to say random. It's probably starting from the upper left or the lower right, and it's just doing a planar projection. That's all there is to it. There's nothing crazy about it. Now, you could go back in and update it. You have access because it is a procedural mesh component. You could go in and update all your UVs for that new. What do they call it? It's a new. What am I thinking? I'm now back in the editor really quick to procedural. It's a section. So you could create so you could have that into a new section, and then you could update that section and you could update its UVs. That'd be the way that you probably handle that.
Cool. We got a couple other questions that were in chat. I didn't manage to throw them into the Q&A, but I did answer them in chat. I'd like to answer them here. The questions that we got asked, one of them was, is there a way that you can only slice it a certain amount of times? And the answer is yes. It's not through the procedural thing itself, but the way you do it is through Blueprint. There is a do in node, and what you do is after where you saw us putting up the slice information where we do the cast, and that cast says, if you go to it, I'll show it.
I would do it just.
Or you could do it in
do
here.
It here
there
on
you
the
go.
actor.
Do
just
in
unslice me
on the actor itself. There you go.
Yeah.
You could say do in, and then that way it can only get sliced a certain number of times, and so it can only go through there.
100.
And then you can slice it 101 times.
Yeah, I guess.
Or well, actually,
I don't know.
It doesn't go through on 0, does it?
It could be if it's index 0, whatever.
Yeah, but point being, do in would be how you could do that very easily. It's not built in, but it is pretty simple.
And then if you wanted to figure out percentages,
you could
do mass. I think you could do mass of the new object in reference to the old object.
Well, what I would suggest is to know what the original bounds of the object is.
The problem is that a bounds, if I slice at a weird angle, I'm going to end up with more volume than I had before due to bounds.
Oh,
that's why. So
because
here's what we can check though. So
because
our chair here,
I have a slice of bread. How do I know how much I've sliced off of it? So that's
we can look at it and we can say, hey, procedural mesh component, how big are you in the whole physics thing? I know it's in here. Okay, there it is. It is 119. Is that kilograms? This is in kilograms. This chair
we're metric.
Well, this chair is also apparently made out of uranium. I'm pretty sure that says 119 and not 11.9 kilograms.
You're right.
So 119 kilograms of chair.
Well, you could override the mass.
Yeah, we could override the mass, but I don't want to. Now, if we repossess and we slice, and we eject, and we select our new procedural mesh component. Its mass is 82. So I don't think that would work, because we're not getting an even split off of that. Because, or no, are we? No, there's no way that's even. Because that's now, we have created mass. We are amazing, everybody. The universe does not work the way we want it to work. Yeah, so yeah, I thought maybe using mass would get us a usable number off of there, but yeah, no. You might, you could use the bounding sphere. That would give you an estimation, but you're still going to be way off, and you might actually end up with more volume than you had. If you worked with a box and flat planes.
I mean, I would just cheat. I mean,
yeah.
My thought on this one would be to cheat and set up a series of breakpoints on the object to slice through, almost like so that it's like, okay, like you have a loaf of bread and it can be cut a maximum of 100 times. We'll have 100 like points on that, and then just snap to the closest point, and then just determine, like, basically set up an array of that to determine how much is in each slice of bread, and then how many individual slices you have, or if you have a slice that's too thick, and then you'd have a full array of information about a loaf of bread.
I know a ridiculous way to calculate it.
Oh gosh.
Surface area of the mesh.
Surface area of the mesh.
You have access to that information.
That's
you could totally figure out the surface area of all your triangles in each piece.
That's basically taking mine to the nth degree, where those individual points are actually verts. So yeah. So
and then we're creating verts to mess everything up.
You get too excited when you realize you could do something scary.
You could do something scary. I've solved a problem in the most obtuse way possible. Yay!
All right.
What else we got?
Let's see. So we've actually had a couple of questions on this, and I just want to, can you carve holes instead of slicing planes? Can you take out chunks like booleans, or can you cut halfway through? This is purely.
You need to zoom in on us, Clint.
Yeah.
Zoom in on us.
Zoom.
Just.
Whoa. No. So yeah, this the slice goes completely through the mesh. It takes a big planar chunk off.
Planes are easy.
So it's just a very simple way of doing that. Boolean exclusion would create a lot of. It's something you would expect out of a 3D model program that would be pretty.
It's usually pretty intense.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive by comparison.
Prone to errors.
Yeah. And
go have fun with Maya intersection.
And that's also another thing. Like, if you a lot of people have asked, can I use this for my enemies to have them slice? Well, if they're skeletal meshes, then it's not going to work on that. They have to be procedural meshes. It's again for that. And that also comes down to, well, we'd have to cut bones in half, and then still you would expect them to be able to animate with these new bones, and that would be creating new bones, and then that's
now, if I remember correctly,
a whole new system. This was created as a Epic Friday project.
Yep.
It turns out.
And if I remember correctly, in code, we have ways to sever skeletal meshes. I mean, it was in there for Unreal Tournament 3 and 2, and all of them previously, right, where we actually had ways to sever limbs and things like that. It's in there. You just have to go low and figure it out from there. But it's there. Yeah. It's just not surface level in the editor.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say stay tuned on those. I'm sure that somebody in the physics side of things has something interesting planned for more skeletal things. So there's that. And then that looks like that's the questions for the day. So thank you all for coming out. Thank you all so much for watching us debug quite a bit and then get to the actual how it was made. We had a lot of fun. We learned a lot. We got to talk about a really cool new tool. Yep. Thank you, Ian, so much for coming out.
This has been fun.
Yep. Thanks to Lauren and James and all the people who hung out in chat and answered questions and hung out. So until then, we will see you on Thursday, where we will have Lena Halper come on to talk about animation in 4.13 Part 2, where we're going to be going over even more cool stuff that we haven't gotten to cover yet.
Nice.
And it's always great to have Lena on. She's a delight. So come check that one out in 2 days. See you there.
Thanks, guys.